Welcome back to Cram Farms. It is that time of year where everyone gets excited about starting to get their baby chicks. And if this is your first time raising baby chicks, or if you've done it plenty of times before, we've got lots of tips that are gonna help you get off to a great start on raising your new flock. We have a brand new batch we just picked up from the post office, and we're gonna show you how we get their little brooder area ready, and then we'll give you some tips on how you keep them healthy for the first few weeks of life. All right, let's take a quick peek before we get home to the kids. What do you think, Mariah? We gotta be easy with them, remember? You can't drop a baby chick because it could kill it. Look at there, that's an Americana.
Look, she's so cute.
Did we get one?
Nope. Those are Amy's Americanas. What color Americanas eggs do they lay?
Blue?
Blue, yep.
Oh. They're cute little babies.
I'll take care of it.
So we're starting off with just an aluminum. This is like a watering trough, but this is going to be the brooder for these chickens for the first couple of weeks. So we're gonna start off with a fresh bedding of pine shavings. I like to get the pretty thick pine shavings. You don't want those that are really tiny that they're gonna be eating. So the big chunk pieces, the big flakes of pine shavings is what you want to coat the bottom of your brooder.
Looks like a big stack of hay.
Yeah, it does. All right, spread it on around in there. You want a nice thick layer. The thick layer is gonna keep the babies warm and dry. So one of the big things with new baby chicks is you keep them dry and warm. All right, so you wanna start off and stick them under the heat lamp because they're gonna get warm. They're probably gonna stay in a little bunch, everybody together.
I want to get under a heat lamp.
All right. So when handling them, you want to be sure that you don't drop them. So hold them in your hands very tightly.
Like this?
Very good. If you have kids helping you, make sure that they know if one of these little baby chicks hits the ground, it quite possibly could die. So you want to make sure to hold them tightly and get them under the heat.
This one's a black.
Yep, that is a black copper Moran. Brother is passing them off to sister here, and we're getting them all put up under the heat lamp. Now you can buy red heat lamps, you can buy clear heat lamps. It doesn't matter, either one, they're all the same. And you can pick them up at a farm supply store. We've gotten, perfect, we got ours from Tractor Supply. So see how everyone's grouping together down here? They're gonna do that just to stay warm. Once they warm up, they will start spreading out into the brooder. So here's everybody under the heat lamp, getting used to their new space. They'll only be in this brooder for about 2 to 3 weeks. After that, you can move them, but you wanna keep their bedding dry for the first several weeks. And then we're gonna talk to you now about their food and their water, because that's very important, obviously, when you're getting your baby chicks started. You're gonna wanna use a chick starter for your new chicks, and so we use a soy-free, non-GMO feed that we get from Sunrise Farms. And it is perfect for your new baby chicks. So you're gonna take a feeder and just fill it up. There are several different feeders you can get, but when you're starting your baby chicks, you wanna get one that they can't get in and scratch all of their feed out, because then you're wasting feed. So this style of feeder you can get at a local farm supply store. They also have the long ones that have the same type of holes, and they're gonna keep your chicks from getting in their feed and scratching it everywhere. So you wanna keep them full of feed all day long. Baby chicks will start eating a lot. And then the next thing you wanna do is a waterer. Now, this style waterer can be found again at any like farm supply store. Now baby chicks can make a mess out of their water. So what we do is we always put some type of board down. It keeps it up out of the shavings, and it keeps them from getting in there and getting food and everything else in their water and making a huge mess. So this is what you'll start with for about a week. And after that, you'll transition to a different feeder and a different waterer, and I'll show you that too. These baby chicks have been traveling. So they were hatched about 2 days ago and then shipped. But the reason you can ship these birds and them survive is because for the first about 72 hours, they are digesting the yolk that was inside of the egg that they hatched from. So that gives them all the nutrients they need until they get to you at your new home, and then you can start giving them their food and water. So what we like to do is take our baby chicks and we dip their beaks into the water so they learn where their water source is. So we'll take each of them and do that. Yeah, and then they'll know where their water is. So we just dip each of them one by one and then set them back down.
Look, that one's trying to go back to it.
You'll notice sometimes after you dip them, they start saying, oh, that's where that is, and they'll start going back for more drinks. Another thing, getting your water up off of your shavings is gonna help prevent some drowning. Baby chicks can drown, so getting it up off of there will help with that also.
Hey, Mom.
Another tip for you is to put some, we like to take some crushed fresh garlic and a little bit of apple cider vinegar and we add it to their water. It's just really good and healthy, good probiotics to get started with your chickens. And then even once they are not baby chicks anymore, we still put apple cider vinegar in our chickens' water daily. I showed you the water and the feeder that you'll use for the first 2 to 3 weeks while they're still baby chicks. After that, you wanna go to something, a hanging style. So this is a hanging style feeder. You'll see that the little holes are bigger, and you can hang this by putting like a 2x4 or something across your trough, hang it, and then they can't get in here and scratch everything out either. You'll do the exact same thing with a waterer. Here's an example of a hanging waterer. And you can do the exact same thing. You can hang this by a 2x4 going across your brooder so that they won't get in their water either. It's really important that you keep your baby chicks and all your chickens in general, their water clean. They need fresh, clean water daily. So by hanging them, you're helping to prevent all of the dirt and everything they pick up from scratching getting into their water. This is your heat lamp, and you'll see here it has a clamp on it, and we just clamped it onto the side of the water trough, which we're using as our brooder. You want to be really careful. This is a fire hazard. If you get this falls down into here, not only could it kill your chicks, obviously, but you could start a fire with your pine shavings. So you want to be really careful using these heat lamps. So the heating pads, you can kind of put down, and the little chicks can go up under them and kind of mimics the mother chick. Either way, you just want to be safe when you're using your heat lamp.
Oh, look, they're eating. They're eating, Mama.
Look, they found their food.
Why don't you have to dip them in the food, but you have to dip them in the water?
It's a really good question. They do really well, though, finding their food. I think once you get them going with their water and all, they do really well.
I like this one with all the spots on it.
Do you know which one that is?
No.
That's an Americana. So do you remember what color egg she's going to lay?
Blue.
Yep, we have some blue egg layers now. She'll lay a pretty blue egg.
Do we have any brown egg layers?
We do, so...
Like the dark brown?
Yep, if you pick up one of the black and yellow ones. This is a black copper Moran, and they laid the darkest brown egg of all the chickens. Did you know that? We really like our chocolate egg layers, don't we? Mm-hmm. So that it will take them, sometimes it takes them a little longer than your other chickens to start laying, maybe sometimes about 8 months.
This one looks like a rooster.
These are supposed to be hens, although sometimes when you order black copper Morans, they send you a straight run, which means you don't know if they're females or males until they get a little bit older. And then these are buff Orpingtons, which will be your regular brown egg layers. And this will be a gold colored chicken when it's grown. And we have some of those already, don't we?
One of Dad's favorites.
That is one of Dad's favorites.
And one of my favorites are the Rhode Island Reds because they're easy to catch.
We do like our Rhode Island Reds. So you notice now that they've been in their brooder for a little while and they've started warming up, they start moving around, they start finding their food, going to their water. And then what they'll do is it'll be warm at this end where the light is. And if they get too warm, they can easily come down here to cool off. So since we're in a building, it's a little bit easier to keep them protected. But if you had them, well, even in a building, if you had like cats around or things, you would need to be prepared to put something over the top of them so that nothing would get them. So even using like the netting, you'll see some of it up here. You can take some of this and just throw it over the top of them, just something to keep them safe and protected from predators. Now, I don't want you to think that just because you don't have one of these troughs, you can't raise baby chicks. That's not the case at all. And for many years, we have used storage containers. You can pick these up, you know, at your local big box store. You can even find some of them at the Dollar Tree. And what we used to do, we always at our old house had them in our basement. Same thing, put your shavings in the bottom, make sure they have water, food, and a heat lamp, and they're good to go. We have just recently upgraded to the aluminum water troughs, and that's what we're using now, but that is not what we have used in the past. So don't feel like you can't raise baby chicks just because you don't have one of these. This is our other batch of chicks you saw the other day. I'll show you how well they're doing. So we have Rhode Island Reds in here, black Australorps, some black Copper Morans, and some buff Orpingtons. And you see everybody running around. One more thing I wanted to point out is if you are putting chicks together and you're getting like different ages and from different places, you want to make sure that you don't put chickens or baby chicks any more than 2 weeks apart in age in the same brooder. They just start getting too big and they can lay on one another and actually hurt your baby chicks. So we have a few more chicks that are supposed to hatch and we'll add them to this group, but after that we're done. We're almost at that 1.5 week, 2 week mark. So we won't be adding any more babies to this group. This will be the group that grows up together. They will become our newest layers. Well, that's it for us at Cram Farms today. I hope you learned a little bit about raising baby chicks. It is so simple and easy. We've done it for many years now in several different places, from our old house to where we're living now until we get to the farm. And we've used things from storage containers and boxes to now the aluminum water trough. So I hope you learned something. Leave us a comment below. Let us know, are you ordering chicks this year? And if so, what kind of baby chicks are coming your way? We can't wait to hear from each of you. Don't forget to give our video a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time right here at Cram Farms.